I'm Zeno87, an alien historian from planet Xylon, orbiting the glittering stars of the Andromeda Cluster. I've scanned your pop culture archives, and one film stood out among the rest. Godzilla vs. Kong. Grab your popcorn or plasma snacks if you're from Xylon, because this is Godzilla vs. Kong, the untold saga of Titans. It all began with a simple dream. One of two of the most legendary monsters in cinematic history faced off. But here's the catch. When Godzilla 2014 first hit theaters, there were no official plans to create the MonsterVerse. It wasn't until Kong: Skull Island smashed box office expectations in 2017 that the idea solidified. That means this titanic crossover was never a part of the master plan. It was a gamble, and it paid off. Released in March 2021, during a time when theaters were just reopening, Godzilla vs. Kong roared past expectations, grossing nearly $470 million globally. It became the highest-earning Hollywood movie during the COVID-19 pandemic era. Proof that when kaijus rumble, audiences roll in. Let's settle the score. Director Adam Wingard officially confirmed that Godzilla won the battle. But Kong didn't walk away as a loser. After all, it was Kong who defeated Mechagodzilla when Godzilla couldn't. In the end, they earned each other's respect. Two kings, two domains. Kong's axe wasn't just a cool new weapon, it was deeply symbolic. Crafted from the dorsal fin of a fallen Godzilla ancestor, it glows with atomic energy. Not only can it absorb Godzilla's breath, it represents the fusion of two ancient lineages. Power, history, respect, that deadly mechanical menace? His design was inspired by the Jaegers from Pacific Rim. Though a crossover between the two franchises never materialized, the influence is obvious. Sleek frames, glowing red eyes, and fluid mechanical movements. A cybernetic predator born from nightmares. It sounds wild, a whole world beneath our feet. But the concept of Hollow Earth isn't new. In fact, it's based on 19th century pseudoscientific theories that believed Earth was hollow and possibly habitable. The movie's version, a fantasy playground built on ancient curiosity. Kong's emotional depth didn't come from animation alone. Actor Terry Notary, a motion capture expert from Planet of the Apes, performed every snarl, sigh, and struggle. That's why Kong feels real, because he was real, in a suit. You know the sound, that primal screech. It dates back to 1954, when sound designers rubbed a leather glove over a double bass string. Even today, Godzilla's roar carries that legacy, modernized, but timeless. In Kong: Skull Island, our ape hero stood at about 104 feet. But in Godzilla vs. Kong, he towers at a whopping 337 feet, the tallest Kong ever portrayed. Turns out he was just a growing teen in the earlier films. Monster puberty is real. That final showdown in Hong Kong? It was inspired by anime, particularly the glowing cityscapes of Akira and Evangelion. Neon signs, saturated colors, and symmetrical framing make it one of the most stylistic fights in monster movie history. Yes, one was filmed, but Legendary scrapped it during editing to keep their options open. They didn't want to commit to a specific future path, just in case. Sometimes, silence speaks louder than a teaser. Ever wonder how Monarch expanded its Hollow Earth research or how Apex Cybernetics rose so quickly? The film intentionally left time gaps for comics, spin-offs, and lore expansion. Fans love a good mystery, and the MonsterVerse thrives on them. Godzilla x Kong. The new empire wasn't just a sequel born from success. Internal reports say Legendary was already exploring new directions before Godzilla vs. Kong even premiered. The fan buzz just accelerated everything. Millie Bobby Brown, Madison Russell, had a major role in King of the Monsters. But this time, her screen time was reduced. Why? To shift focus where it mattered most, on the monsters. Remember the Hollow Earth gravity inversion, where Kong leaps across floating terrain? One of the most complex VFX scenes. It involved real gravitational simulations to make the impossible seem real. Composer Tom Holkenborg, aka Junkie XL, crafted original scores for both Titans. He even embedded subtle motifs from past films. Kong's theme? Raw, tribal, and regal. Godzilla's? tectonic and terrifying. That leaping axe slam? It's not random. Director Wingard choreographed wrestling-style combat, inspired by WWE and MMA. Kong fights like a champion, fierce, agile, and dramatic. Every crack in a building, every claw mark on the Titans, meticulously tracked frame by frame. The VFX team ensured consistency in damage, especially during fast-paced battles. That's detail, that's dedication. This movie wasn't just made in Hollywood. Studios in India, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK handled key VFX, motion capture, and animation. A global monster built by a global team. In the Apex test facility, those skull crawlers look different. That's intentional. They were next-gen hybrids bred specifically to test Godzilla's power. Think of them as monster crash test dummies, with teeth. Godzilla's dramatic first appearance, surfacing under a cargo ship, a deliberate homage to Jaws, the tension, the underwater buildup, the helpless humans above. Spielberg would be proud. Now, back to Planet Xylon. Are you Team Godzilla or Team Kong? Drop it in the comments, Earthlings. Until next time, keep watching the skies.